it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. John Moran in the clutch. Oh, my word. Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there. And way down the sideline. Jefferson. Another huge run. Jalen Red broke tackle. Stayed on his feet.
What's poppin', everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take with me, Blake Neiman. And the NBA All-Star teams have been officially selected, bringing forth some long-awaited winners, as well as some deserving players who were left off the list this season. We'll begin with the starting lineups for each of the conferences. With out west, we have fan favorites like LeBron and Curry to go along with the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. Joining the three superstars, though, will be two first-time All-Stars in John Morant and Andrew Wiggins. Recently, Morant has been taking the league by storm, averaging 26.3 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 6.9 assists, while leading the Grizzlies on an incredible stretch that has placed them with the third best record in the NBA. Then there's Andrew Wiggins, who is playing the most critical role of his career, being a large contributor on a championship caliber team like the Golden State Warriors. All of these years, since being the top high school recruit and being the number one pick in 2014, Wiggins is finally living up to the hype, averaging 18.2 points per game on his best field goal percentage of his career with 48.6%. The fans have taken notice of Wiggins' increased production, due in large part to being him in a bigger spotlight with a winning team like the Warriors, and unlike the struggling situation he was in with the Timberwolves. This takes us now to the reserves, which are Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Karl Anthony Towns. With a list of names like this, it's hard to say that anyone got snubbed, as everyone deserves to be on this list. But there could be one player I feel had a strong case for an All-Star selection, but just wasn't selected, and that was DeJounte Murray, who is currently the only player in the league averaging at least 19 points, 9 assists, and 2 steals. He leads the league in steals right now. With Draymond Green likely not to play, though, I believe that Murray stands a large chance to fill in that spot as a replacement. In the East, Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo were no-brainers as usual, along with another big man who is making an MVP case for himself this season in Joel Embiid. Then there is Trae Young, who after shockingly being excluded from the last year's All-Star team, is back to being an All-Star starter once again after putting up impressive averages of 27.7 points per game and 9.3 assists per game, while continuing to keep the Hawks as an underdog threat in the league, with his most recent upset being snapping the league-leading Suns' 11-game win streak behind his own 43 points. Then there is DeMar DeRozan, who has revived his career in Chicago, regaining his spot in the All-Star lineup after a 3-year gap during his time in San Antonio. Despite averaging just 1 3-pointer a game, DeRozan is still one of the most elite scorers in the league, averaging his second most points of his career with 26.4 points per game, all while being a fan favorite with his clutch play in the fourth quarter. DeRozan is playing the game his way, and it is working very effectively as he has the Bulls in first place in the Eastern Conference and himself in the MVP conversation. So that brings us now to the reserves. Jimmy Butler, Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Fred VanVleet. Now, this list, while solid, raises a lot more questions for me than the players out west. LaMelo Ball is a flashy young talent in this league who is putting up quite good numbers this season with averages of 19 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds on better than 35% three-point shooting. Outside of his numbers alone, Ball just has that it factor that makes him an all-star special with the creative passes and shot-making abilities. I was really surprised he did not make it or earn a spot over a still deserving candidates like Darius Garland and Fred VanVleet. I feel like Ball should have been on there over those two. Then there's Jared Allen, who unfortunately was edged out by Garland for the Cavs' lone spot on the All-Star team. But Allen has arguably been the top 3 center in this league with his efficient offensive play and aggressiveness on the glass in terms of rebounding. And most importantly, he is the best defender on the NBA's third best defensive unit. He easily should have replaced Chris Middleton in the front court spot, since he is just putting up his typical numbers and hasn't even been the second best player on the Bucks roster this season, with that honor going to Drew Holiday behind Giannis Antetokounmpo, who also should be dubbed snub worthy. He is averaging 18 points per game on a career-high 39.2% from 3 and leads the Bucks with 6.7 assists per game. Similar to Allen, Holiday's defense is the trademark of his game and plays a huge part in his team's success. So controversy or not, the list of players is set. So now we just have to wait and see if anyone opts out due to injury, which will allow some of these snubs to slip into their spot as a replacement. I'll keep you up to date with all that is going on with the upcoming All-Star Weekend and All-Star news and the upcoming NBA trade deadline here coming up on February 10th. We'll see what moves teams will make, and I will keep you up here on Blake's Take on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube. Subscribe and like for more if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.